Well, I was born in Carlisle in the late 50s, and tattooing was just something I wanted to do from a really early age. I'd seen, obviously growing up in the 70s, a lot of the lads, the skinheads and the boot boys and all that, they all had their tattoos on, and I just was fascinated with them, and I thought that's just what I want to do. And when I was at school, I had a careers lesson, and they were saying, what do you want to do when you leave school, Colin? I said, I just want to be a tattooist, and that's what I've done. I left school, joined the Navy, and I just really wanted to go to the Far East to see their side of the tattoo world, and I ended up in America and all that side. But as soon as I come out, first thing I done was I bought some tattoo equipment off Ultra Tattoo Supplies, and I managed to get an apprenticeship in Stoke with a bloke called Jim Major, and I'd done my apprenticeship back and forward from there to Carlisle to Stoke, back and forward, back and forward. I had a shop behind the railway inn because my dad was the landlord of the pub, and went from there. It was really good. And in Carlisle in them days there was only, there was very few. There was me, Johnny Shepherd, who was in Rydal Street, which is just up there. There was a couple of lads tattooing from home, and that was about it. And Mike, he was tattooing in Harrison Street in his house. And it was, in them days, you knew every single tattooist. I knew everybody, like, tattoo-wise. I knew where they all come from, but now, obviously, it's different, yeah.
Tattooing has always been a part of my life. I can't remember it not being there because my dad, as I say, he's been tattooing longer than I've been alive. So, yeah, it's always been a huge part of my life, and my dad has always looked the way he does as well.
I've got lots of tattoos planned. A lot of them are to do with people that have affected my life and that I'm inspired by. I've got other tattoos which are there purely just for me to lift my mood, but the tattoos that I get and the tattoos that I'm wanting are all to do with my life, but inspirational stuff that's inspired me. So yeah, it's I would say the best thing I get from it is the inspiration from the tattoo.
I think there's people who might think I was crazy to have a tattoo done at the age of 73. It was done on impulse, but I have no regrets.
Tattoo studios in them days, like I was saying before, it was like a magical place. I can't explain how you used to. Saturday mornings was your tattoo day, and you would go and whether it was here, Carlisle, Blackpool, we used to go over to the northeast to Whitley Bay to Bob Hunter's place. You went in the shop and it was just like, gosh, look at this, like there's tattoo designs everywhere, and there'd be somebody tattooing, you know, and he would just be ruthless with you. What do you want? I want a tattoo, and you just look for it. I've got like, £5 on us, what can I get for £5, you know, I'm having that, and I should get that, like, and then you would go and, you know, and get it done. But there was no, you couldn't come in because it was raining outside, because they would just say, what do you want? You're not coming in here with the rain, go on, off, get away, like, you know, and that would be it. They were pure legends, like. And somebody once said, the closest a working man will come to a witch doctor is a tattooist, because they were just so mysterious. They kept all the secrets to themselves, you know. And in a way, it was a good thing, because you couldn't just go and buy tattoo equipment willy-nilly off the internet, because there was none, you know. And anything, most stuff that you wanted, you made yourself, like the needles, or when the ink came, you had to mix it yourself, you know, and you had to learn all that. You know, there was no books telling you how to mix ink, and no books telling you how to make needles, and there's no books telling you how to deal with people when they'd passed out, and, you know, or when your machine broke or anything like that. They had to learn it all, and that's why apprenticeships took so long to do it.
Yeah, I've always loved traditional tattoos. They are personally my favourite on me and my favourite to tattoo on people. But I do a bit of everything. Coming from a street shop, you have to learn how to be an all-rounder basically. So you got to do a bit of everything. You got to do your names, your symbols. These are your bread and butter. They always will be. Even if you're a big tattooist, you're always going to do little ones in between, just because there's no guarantee that people are still like your style in a few years' time. So you've got to just be pretty much open to more styles as best as you can do. But yeah, my dad's done quite a few tattoos. He obviously done my first tattoos. My first tattoo ever was the diamond on my wrist by my dad. And then after that I went crazy getting them. Yeah, my favourite one my dad's done is the flamingo on my inner bicep. I absolutely love that one. But yeah, I've been tattooed by many different people who I admire. I've travelled and been tattooed. And yeah, it's never going to stop, so it's not a phase. I love getting tattoos. I love learning as well. When you get every tattoo you get, you always learn something off that artist as well, and you can bring that into your own work and improve. You're constantly improving in tattooing. You never just stop. The day you just stop learning is the day you should stop tattooing, I think.
I got the tattoo because I'd like to represent, I think represent is the wrong word, but I'd like to show my love for heavy metal, especially the former vocalist of Arch Enemy, Angela Gosso, mainly because I think she's quite an inquisitive figure in the heavy metal industry, because she was one of the best female artists of her time, really.
I like to talk about my Pacific Rim tattoo of Gypsy Danger, and it's on my calf.
What made you decide to get that tattoo?
I watched the film when I was younger, and it was one of the first films I'd really seen that made me think that I wanted to get into the industry of film. And since then I've been making films since I was about 8 years old. It's one of two parts, so I want to get, on one side it's obviously the Jaeger, Gypsy Danger, and on the other side I want to get Knifehead, which is the monster he's battling, so it becomes a two-piece thing rather than just the one leg.
I came in and basically Richard was a blank canvas for him. I had already had one sleeve done, so I just let Richard crack on with the other one. I do like it, it's a one-off, so I know nobody else has got it.
Well, I was at a party and that was the first tattoo I ever got. It was meant to be a little half moon tattoo made by my friend. And it looked like Pac-Man, so everyone was laughing and I got a Pac-Man tattoo. Just reminds me of good old days and my old friends that I don't really talk to anymore.
I have quite a big back and side piece as such, and it's a bit of a life journey from my days in the military to kind of moving out and moving forward from the military as well. So.
What made you decide to get the tattoo?
I think, as I just said, as such, I think tattooing for me now is I've got lots of different tattoos, and it gives me the chance now to kind of take things out of my head but keep them with me on my body. I have struggled with mental health issues from my service in the military, and I think the tattoos that I get now, as I said, that I'm able to keep memories and things with me, but they're not in my head constantly. They're here, but I don't continually have to think about them. So I think my tattooing has really kind of taken a big part in my life and kind of and helping me to move forward. So I get quite a lot of different emotions from it, if I'm honest. It gives me a sense of pride as such. It takes me back to certain people, places, which is good. It gives me a lot of good memories as well. So yeah, it's nice to have it on me.
The Americans, you know, the LA Ink and all that, where they've come and they've got a story to tell. I want this for my mum, I want this for my dad, I want this to remind us of this, that and the other, which is spot on, you know. But going back into when I was a young lad and in the Navy, the sailors, a lot of them collected tattoos from like different ports they'd been to, Singapore and all that kind of places, America and all that. And that was their diary, if you like. That was their collection, so that they could say, I got this in such and such a place in 1974, or I got this in Portsmouth in 1976, and that was their diary, if you like. And that was their story, so that when they got old, they could tell you, well, I was here when I got this, and I got this there, and blah blah, and that's how they collected them, you know.
It was an anniversary present from my girlfriend. We both got the same tattoo of our dog's paw. Makes me feel amazing because I feel like my dog's always there with me, and my dog's like my little baby, and it means a lot to me to also have a matching tattoo with my girlfriend.
I wanted something for my nana when my nana passed away, and believing in God and religious stuff, I wanted like the cross involved with it, and also I brought in the ring that my granddad got engaged to my nana in Egypt. So I brought that in and asked Richard to put it in the tattoo, which he did. So yeah, that's what we know.
What made you decide to get that tattoo?
Just like a tribute, something that will just be with you for the rest of your life. I love it. It's just my nana. So it's, you know.
The M&M on my leg. Just Lex's laugh every time I see it.
Do you have any more planned?
Possibly.
I'd like to talk about my Napoleon Hill tattoo. So Napoleon Hill is my favourite author. He's wrote some amazing books that have helped thousands and thousands of people, and I've learnt so much from him that I wanted a tattoo to remind me of the lessons that I've learnt from Napoleon. Having the tattoo, it's a big thing, and I use the tattoo all the time to talk to people about Napoleon and his concepts and his way of life. So yeah.
My tattoo is quite unique and it's very special. It was done for me by Megan at Studio 55 here in Carlisle, and I will be forever grateful for the job she did. Just over a year ago, on August 7th, 2019, I lost my oldest daughter, Sarah. Her battle with cancer had lasted 5 years, and she'd finally lost that battle. All through those 5 years, she continually gave messages to friends and family. One was, I'm going to enjoy my life, and she did. The second was no negativity, and she never showed any. And the third one was how she referred to herself, as a cancer-fighting warrior. When it came to the funeral, I wanted to say something about my lovely daughter. And I remembered how when she was little, I used to find her in the bedroom twirling in front of a long mirror. And she told me she was trying to turn herself into Wonder Woman. So at the funeral, I told the family and all the very many friends who had turned up to say goodbye to her that as well as being a mum, a wife, a sister, a daughter, and a friend, she had done just that. She had achieved her childhood ambition. I had my tattoo done just 3 weeks later. It combines the Wonder Woman logo, a butterfly, because Sarah brought so much beauty to the world, and forget-me-nots, because she will always be remembered by those who knew her. The tattoo is on my wrist, so I can see it all the time. It is a tribute and a memorial to a strong, brave and very special woman. And it means that Sarah will always be with me.
My tattoos, I started getting tattooed in about 1974, when I was just about 15. And I got a snake on my arm. I haven't got it now, or I would show you it. It's covered up. And then I've been tattooed in the 70s of loads of different artists, like from all over, you know. It's from Bob Hunter at Whitley Bay, Olga the Fox, the Carlisle mascot, Blackpool of Derek Iams, he just died this year, Derek. That's from Wall's End, of, I can't think of his name now, Dave Taylor, I think it was. That's off the lad who taught me, Jim Major. I got the hinges when I was in the Navy off a block called Taff in Portsmouth. And these are all my favourite. This is all my favourite work. These are all really old tattoos. There's another one off Taff, another hinge to match it. Another one off Bob Hunter. The geisha girl there, off Doc Price in Portsmouth. These are all Navy tattoos. That's Doc Price from Portsmouth. And then up till like the latest ones, this one on the throat here was done off a bloke called Philly Moore. He tours the world like tattooing by hand. It was tapped in with bone. So, and took forever like to get done. And then up until, you know, the latest one I've got done was I got my fingers done. I was in my 50s when I got my hands done, my fingers, because I believed that, you know, I wanted to be sure I wanted them done, and I've kind of run out of space now, so that was the last one. And the hold fast is an old naval term for when you were holding the ropes. Yeah, but you know, the tattoos I've got, I still get tattooed today. You know, I still get tattooed when I get time. But like I said, I do a lot of triathlons, and my swimming stops me from getting tattooed because the tattoos react in the chlorine of the water there. So I can only get tattooed when I'm not kind of training for any event. So I go to tattooists that I really want to get tattooed by, the old boys if I can, as best I can. Now, like Dave Heap, I'm trying to get down to see Dave. I get tattooed off Steve Wrigley from Glasgow, and now his dad was Terry Wrigley. He's a really old boy, like he was tattooed in Glasgow, he tattooed in Blackpool. You know, there's a big crew of them together, like. But he's dead. His dad's dead now, like. But Steve still carries on, and I've been up there and getting tattooed a couple of times off Steve. Other lads that I admire, you know, there's a lot of young lads still tattooed. A lot of young lads that I want tattooed off, and a lot of old boys still that I want to go and see. Yeah, but it's just getting time. Yeah, you did have to be good at art. You know, to a certain extent. I mean, you look at some of the designs back from the 60s, 70s and all that, you know, they weren't the best, especially the women's faces. They all looked like they'd been ironed, you know, but there wasn't like, the standard of art then and the standard of art today is totally different, because it's a totally different kind of person that tattoos now. You know, a lot of them have been and done graphic design at college today, whereas back then it tattooing wasn't, how would you say, it wasn't like a mainstream job. It was something that people done in a parlour in the front room, you know, and then some of them did have studios. Well, they weren't studios, they were shops. You know, it was totally different to what it is today. And, you know, the artwork today is phenomenal, like. You worked for everything that you got in them days, every single thing. You had to find, you know, you had to source everything by telephone or handwritten letters. Whereas today, it's the internet, it's easy for them now, in my eyes, like. And the machines that they've got today, they're like, well, they don't make a noise, and they come out of the box straight away, plug them in, use them. Whereas the old coils, Christ, you have to break them in, wind, you know, you had to run them for hours before they were tattooed. You could tattoo with them, you know. And then just working with a coil machine, you know, you've got to learn it. It's like a musical instrument. You've got to learn how to play it. You know, my apprentice taught upstairs, and my daughter Megan and Gillian, who's not here now, but they're all women. And I've brought once over there was only, like you said, Jessie Knight and one or two other women tattoos, but now there's a lot of women, and we have showed 3 women how to tattoo in here. The equipment they're using today gives it more scope to do realistic work, for definite, you know, and of a class that's never been through all the years I've known tattooing. The standard of work is so high now. It's you know, it's never been, but you still miss that little bit of a tattoo. Should have an outline around it and coloured in. That's me. And you know, and the only way to do it's with one of them machines, like, definite.
I really enjoyed it. It was the whole experience of getting the tattoo was obviously the process of getting the tattoo. It was good to watch Emilio working and to get that piece on us. So it did mean a lot, the whole experience of getting the tattoo and having the tattoo. It's a big thing, and I use the tattoo all the time to talk to people about Napoleon and his concepts and his way of life. So yeah.
What does it make you feel looking at it now?
Proud. It makes me feel proud to have that on there, and like I say, to have something that I can show other people that helps inspire other people. It's a really powerful tool.
It's quite painful actually, on my ribs and on my hip bone. It was a bit of a rattler, but yeah, it was good. It was one of those. It was quite a long couple of sessions, but it was a good session.
It was actually alright. It was my first tattoo, like, ever, so yeah, it was okay.
Bit painful, but yeah, it's all worth it.
It went pretty well. Didn't take too long. I think it took about an hour and wasn't really too painful.
It was sore at first, especially the white highlights. They hurt the most. But all in all, it was a great experience.
What does it make you feel looking at it now?
I'm still feeling ecstatic about it. It makes me feel like $1 million.
At first, I thought it's quite decent. I'm not like it doesn't hurt that much, and I was really expecting it to be a lot worse. And as the experience went on, the only thing that really hurt was the shading and the colouring once it going back over it. But overall, it wasn't too bad at all, and I definitely say it's bearable and a lot better than what people say it is. I think, thank God I got that because it means so much to me.
Well, me and Richard's friends, so we just laughed until he passed out with the pain.
Oh, without a doubt. Japanese symbols. I must have wrote the Japanese Bible 100 times, like with all the symbols I've done. Names, and then went through a little phase with dolphins, little blue dolphins, and little red devils, England badges, football badges, you know, you've been through all of it. Tribal, Dust Till Dawn, can have a Dust Till Dawn sleeve, whatever that is. So you tribal up to the neck. Went through a phase of that for a long time. And then nowadays it's just more of, it's more diverse now that way. It's more like, there's nothing really sticks out that you do more of. It's a bit of everything now. And so whatever comes through that door will do. If it's a portrait now, I'll probably send them down to the Gentry and to Wayne Fisher's shop, because you know Wayne's really good at that and that's what he specialises in, so I'll send them down there for him to do it. But anything else we do here, like, I meet some absolutely fantastic people in here, and I have done over the 40 years I've tattooed. You just can't. You can have one person will come in here today and he won't speak. You can have another person who'll have you in stitches. You know, it's brilliant, and you get them from all walks of life, and they'll talk about all subjects, and I enjoy it all. I won't do racist stuff,
Yeah, like
swastikas and all that, you know, still, and I won't do political stuff really. You know, I don't think, I think there's a place for that. If that's what you want, but you know, but apart from anything else, I'll do anything else, like within reason. If a woman walked in, and I'm not being sexist when I say it, but if a young lady walked in and she wanted her face tattooed, I would be like, to be fair, I've got a bit of a conscience there, I won't do it. And if a young lad comes in, an 18, 19-year-old lad, and he's wanting covered in tribal up his throat and his hands done, I'd say, you know, I want you to think about it. Like, it's not I'm not here just to rip you off. I'm here to put a tattoo on that you're going to enjoy in 10, 15 years' time. I don't know. I just don't know exactly what tattooing's got in the future. To be honest, whether it has got a future, or if it'll just be washed up into the hairdressing and beauty side of life. And I mean, I don't even know what in 20 years' time will there still be tattooing with inks that lasts forever. I think that they'll have a method where you can put a cream on and it'll wash the new ink off.
Do you have any more plans?
A lot.
Definitely a lot more.
Maybe one or two, I don't know yet. See what's there, see what's in the pipeline.
Yeah, I want them to continue, because since that I've lost my granddad. So I've already spoken to Richard on the phone and said, look, I want to do like a full sleeve of, because it was my nan and granddad that brought me up. So I want to get like a full sleeve.
I've always got tattoos planned, always looking for the next space. But as I said, I think I'm trying to put more thought into my tattoos now, and make sure that the tattoos that I get actually kind of mean something, rather than just going for some random stuff that I have done in the past.
Possibly.
I still think if I'm still about in 20 years, I'll still be using them old machines. It'll still hurt and it'll last forever, but I don't know about anybody else. I think it's been more socially accepted just with the football and music, but I do still think that there is a little bit of stigma with employment. I know that a lot of the big firms have sort of accepted it and said that yeah, we don't mind you having your tattoos now, like I think McDonald's and all them, I think. But I do still, when you get young lads coming in here and they've got their hands tattooed, I always say to them, you know, I love them, but there is a lot of people still don't like them. And I think that you've got to be careful with, because a tattoo is going to last longer than your employment, you know, and you've got a lot of life to live and you've got to live it the easiest way possible, haven't you? So, you know, I just tell them all, just think, be sure, because once that's on there, it's on for life, like, you know, and that's it. It's especially if I put it on.